everybody, one of Wiisdom here. As you can tell, we're going to be busy. Very, very busy. You can't even see all the busyness that we're about to partake in. That said, what we have here is an assortment of awesome stuff, I must say. We've got Easter Skylanders, we've got the full complement of Breath of the Wild amiibo, got a Pro Controller. I was able to land that thing last night along with these guys. I'll tell you right now, Toys R Us, buy one, get one 50% off. If you don't follow me on Twitter, went ahead and made that clear. That is the time to pick these up. Take advantage of it now while they're actually available and on sale. I'm debating in this video if we should jump right into the unboxing or if I should do the story behind how we got to it. Given the volume of work I have ahead of me, I'm thinking we're just going to jump in. Toys R Us, buy one, get one 50%. This was Toys R Us, full price everywhere. It's pretty well sold out. The amiibo, great deal on them, is from Amazon Prime. They've upped the price on them, which I think is ridiculous, although they do look significantly better than some of the previous ones. That said, if you are on Amazon Prime or a family member is, you can save significant cash. I think $12.97 or less on all the standard ones. The Guardian, which is sold out most places, or $19.99. I think I was able to get it for like 15 or 14 something. It's one of those only in cart type of a thing, so keep that in mind. It's been a crazy week. I'm finally home early enough and not completely just dwindled down to nothing where I can functionally do this. Here we go. Nintendo Switch. Dun dun dun. This is, if you can't tell, it's the red and blue one. I know. I guess I'll incorporate some of the Switch story. So, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I always have been. I likely always will be. Things I say negative about them, I say it from someone that genuinely cares, kind of like I would do with Skylanders. Why I continually say, where's battle mode? It's because I think it's what's best for the franchise. With the Switch, you know, hey, I'm all for it, right? But I planned to wait, and here's why. First two times in my life, really, I've been able to go out on launch day and pick up a new console, day of release, be in all the hype, whatever. Xbox One and the Wii U. I kind of felt burned on both of them, and for pretty much the same reason. You go out and you pay full price, and then within weeks, you know, sometimes 6 weeks, 2 months, you either have a really nice bundle form, whether it's a retailer throwing in a controller or Xbox Live Gold for a year, or if it's a game bundle where you basically get the game for free, or where you're slicing the price $50 or more and throwing in something that's bundled. That, coupled with some other things, made me decide, like, hey, I'm going to hold out on the Switch. Honest plan, wasn't going to jump in on launch day. I was going to wait and see if there was a bundle for Mario Kart 8. Why? Because, again, if I could pay $2.99 but get Mario Kart 8 free, that's a win for me, right? It's two things I want. If I'm saving money, it's just like the buy one, get one 50% on the Skylanders. That was my strategy. I was thinking if they held out making a bundle or cutting the price until later on in the year, I was going to wait until Super Mario Odyssey. I don't think I would have been able to wait past that point. In all honesty, I don't know that I would have waited past Mario Kart 8, but I plan to wait up until that point. I've seen a little bit of Breath of the Wild on some streams. It looks pretty freaking amazing. And so needless to say, this opportunity arose sort of by way of my nephew's birthday. Last Monday, you know, he didn't really want much for his birthday, right? And so one of the first thing he listed off was the Switch. And we were like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. We've been asking you. Like, I had opportunities to pre-order. Specifically asking, like, I don't know if I have to have that, you know. And then we get closer to the birthday when pre-orders are canceled, and this is like a couple of days away from release, and it's like, yeah, I think a Switch would be pretty cool. Oh no. So, of course, being, you know, the uncle and then my sister, being the mom, trying to do everything we can to make things happen for him. Put in a full-ditch family effort, stalking all the retailers, trying to get these things. This is one of the rare ones. This is not a pre-ordered Switch. It's not one bought off of eBay. This is one of those freak instances where someone that didn't pre-order it was able to acquire one. The reason I have red and blue, we found this one at Target. We literally took off like banshees, went up there to pick it up. My sister called in Basically said, hey, can you please, please, please hold it? It's for my nephew's birthday. And then when we left there, it was like weight was lifted off the shoulders, and then she was on her phone, and she was like, oh my gosh, the gray one's in stock, because we thought that is the one that he would want. And it was like, hey, do I order it? And it's like, would you take it if he doesn't want it? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so she ordered that one. It was also Target.com, so big thanks to Target and Target.com for actually supplying these. Needless to say, ordered that. It came in. His birthday was this past week. We had both of them there. And it's like, okay, it's your birthday, dude. Which one do you want? He picked gray. If I was him, I would have done the same thing. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. But if you want my honest opinion, if I was to walk into a store, these are readily available. Prices have dropped. We're in the summertime. There's bundles, whatever. If I'm faced with red and blue or 2 gray, I'm going to take 2 gray. If there was a bundle with 2 blue, it would probably be a backseat to the gray. The gray is just sort of more modern, more clean. Something about it is aesthetically pleasing to me. Some people do prefer this. Again, it's kind of more playful, more colorful. I get the whole player 1, player 2, easily identifiable type of a thing. But I don't know. Personally, the gray is the way to go. That said, I'm not really at a position where I can just run this back up to Target and swap it out, because none of them exist. There's none in stock anywhere. So, hey, I'm fine with it. The Joy-Cons are a bit expensive in my opinion, so the plan is to just burn through these things until they die, which I don't know that they will, but they might. So that's sort of the background on it. There's no fancy story. It wasn't sent out. It wasn't a deal where I went in and gave $400 to some nut job off of eBay or Craigslist. We just legitimately got lucky. So keep trying. It very well could happen to you. The girl, I went back to Target when my sister got this, because they showed to have 2. I got to electronics right as they had hooked this chick up with it, and she was like so ecstatic, and she had all of the amiibo, and she was practically, I think, in tears. But so I figured she must be a pretty big Zelda fan, so that was cool. But it worked out well for us. So my nephew does have the gray one. I've got this one. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, April 28th, counting down the days. Hopefully he and I can kind of rekindle some online racing, which, if you didn't know, Mario Kart Wii, and the online racing in particular, is the reason that I started my YouTube channel. So there is the packaging on the front side. You've been enjoying that, or your eyes have been forever have this image seared into them with the piercing neon colors. Flipping it around to the back side. There you go. It's very simple, very clean packaging. I realize this looks probably fairly large, given the way I'm having to hold it awkwardly, but this thing is, the packaging, the box itself is small. The Switch is small. The Joy-Cons are small. It's significantly smaller than I thought it would be. You have to realize I'm a guy in the middle of the country. That's not in New York City, not in Los Angeles. Nintendo didn't come out on their bus stop tour. There were never even any demo days I'm aware of, which the Wii U had a ton of. So I never had like first-hand experience. That was on my nephew's birthday. My first impression was like, this is really small, and I was kind of concerned about it. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a few seconds. So what is included? Number 1, Nintendo Switch console. Number 2 and 3, Joy-Con left will be neon blue, Joy-Con right, neon red. I guess R red makes sense, hey. 4, we've got the Joy-Con straps. Didn't even put those on when we were over at my sister's place. 5 is the high-speed HDMI cable. 6 is the Nintendo Switch dock. Be wary of that one, more on that shortly. Number 7 is the Joy-Con grip. Number 8 is the Nintendo Switch AC adapter. That's pretty much it, man, in a nutshell. I will tell you right now, if you do pick up a Switch, if you order a Switch, if you've bought Breath of the Wild and the Amiibo and Imaginators, whatever you've done in anticipation of the Switch coming back in stock, get a screen protector. It will be critically important. When I was at his place, I kind of like to skim the instructions. They didn't really have any. This is just right here on the inside flap of the box. You plug it in. You set it up. Very, very simple. You basically, select your language. I think once it connects to your internet, it kind of just auto sets the time. Or at least I didn't have to do anything with it. You slide the Joy-Cons on and off a couple of times. that's that. Nintendo.com support, whatever it is, their website. Here it is in all its glory, folks. I have not looked at this. There it is, the Nintendo Switch. And again, I wish this was kind of down on the pool table. That's a lot smaller than it looks like. So here we've got the left Joy-Con. I have pretty big hands, but this thing is pretty small. It feels to me like an apple wedge, like that size, if you will. Right Joy-Con. And that's it, man. That is the Switch. When they say tablet, I know a lot of you are like, oh, it's going to be like my iPad mini, or it's going to be like my Android or Samsung, whatever. No, it's this. So we will set that down. We'll take a look at it here in a few seconds. Right now, we're going to lift this out. I'll set it down. It is really hot in here. It was like mid-80s today. So what we have in this top box... Oh, that's weak, man. Okay, so this is the Joy-Con wrist strap. I thought these were color-coded. It was black with my nephew's gray Switch. I thought it would be red and blue for this one. I guess it's not a huge deal, but like I said, I didn't even put those things on. So all is well on that side. Right here, this is your HDMI cable. Not terribly long. I'm going to guess maybe 3 to 5 feet. This is the AC adapter. This thing retails for $29.99. Why I tell you that is if you don't want to have a huge inconvenience, you can charge the Switch straight off of that AC adapter. But if you want to dock it and not have to deal with the AC adapter every single time, you might want a second one. So you'll kind of see more about that here in a few seconds. This little gem here is going to be our Joy-Con grip, which I don't know about it. I'll try it before I pass judgment. But initial impression... It feels cheap, which it's awkward too. Again, I have probably bigger hands than most people, but I don't know. If you have small hands, like a child, or just small hands in general, I think you would be okay. If you have bigger hands, I don't know if that's the most comfortable thing, but right here, this is really kind of more just health and safety, FCC related garbage than it is instructions. And in the final bin, I mean, this is it. This is absolutely everything that we've got. This is the dock. I hope that box stays. So we will open it up like so. Set that back down. Slide this out. Now, what this is, as you can see, it's got the Switch logo. Snap. Insert a better one. It's kind of interesting, right? It's... I don't know, it sort of doesn't feel like the highest quality item ever either. But basically your screen slides in, the plastic side I should say, facing like my tips of the fingers here. Slides in right there. People have been scratching their screens. I keep wanting to say glass, but it's not glass, it's plastic. Now let's think about this. Your phone, when you drop it, it shatters, right? Because it's glass. On the flip side, when you put your phone in your pocket or something happens, something slides against it, makes contact, metal, you take your car keys and do that, your glass on your phone doesn't scratch. Again, the downside being if you drop it, it has a very good chance of shattering, of cracking, of fracturing, if you will. Nintendo, probably to cut costs and make this thing, keep it $2.99 or under type of a thing, went with a plastic screen. That's fine. The resolution, it doesn't really impact too much. Again, out in the sun and on the go, I don't know. Haven't experienced that just yet. But by going with the plastic, it's primarily a deal if you drop it, it's not going to shatter. It's not going to crack. The downside, kind of opposite of glass, is you've got a situation where it scratches much easier. In fact, it is scratching in the docks. So if you're like me, you were able to get one of these, you weren't the pre-order person, you were just able to ascertain one, or maybe, they get shipments in like they said they were supposed to do. I took Nintendo at their word this time. And so their official PR and everyone, corporate and high up brass people was, don't worry about Switch stock, it's going to be well stocked. And so I kind of believed them. We're only, like what? Not even 2 weeks out, basically 2 weeks tomorrow from the initial launch on the 3rd. I think they could have done a much, much, much better job. I think they probably wanted to. This is something that would be flying off the shelves and still hard to get if it was in stock right now. But the perk of not being, I guess, the day one advocate, if you can kind of have to wait the 2-3 weeks for restock points or whatever they may be, you know to get a screen protector. If you're planning on getting the Switch and you've already picked up the amiibo, some games, etc., go ahead and pick out the screen protectors. There's varying reviews on them. Typically, I think Hori, or however it will be pronounced, gets the best reviews for like the budget price, and then there's like the super high-end ones. Honestly, the cheap ones, you know, they might not have the best clarity and there might be more prone to air bubbles or something. Anything you can get to keep a scratch off of the plastic screen, you're doing fine. So keep that in mind. The way this works, on the side we've got 2 USB ports. This is your charging indicator. I've only seen it green, so that's all I know to tell you. Back down in here, which you can't really see well, I wanted to take a close look at this. It's basically the USB port down here comes through where the charging connectors are. But then on this back side, you're like, okay, what is this? Like a kickstand? And I see HDMI there. Let me show you. So, AC adapter, USB, HDMI out. Basically, the way this works, you plug your cables in and then you route them through this slot. This will allow you to position your dock where you want to. Lots of people are having issues with the left Joy-Con disconnecting, whether it be routers or wires or cable or terminals or fuse blocks. We played quite a bit of 1-2 Switch on my nephew's birthday. I never experienced any issues. That was the gray one. We'll see if this one has some, but that's something to keep in mind as well. But again, that AC adapter, if you're going to dock this to play Breath of the Wild on your TV, you need it plugged in right here, okay? Dock it, broadcast to your TV. Flip side of that is if you grab the Switch and you want to play in bed and it starts to get low and you're like, oh, I'll just charge it. As is with what's in the box, you have to come in, break the back down, pull out the AC adapter, plug it in by your bed or nightstand or whatever it may be, and then run the cable to your crevice in your bed, right? So that's why people want to buy the second AC adapter. It's a little bit high in my opinion at $29.99, $19, $15, $14.99 feels like a better price point. But keep in mind, that is something that you might want for that very reason. That way the dock stays stationary and then you just have the tablet on the go. Then again, it's not really that big of a deal to save $30 to do that, but if you're that type of person, this is never leaving the house. I'm not going to travel and take this to hotels, whatever it may be. The dock will stay. And there's also the option to buy other docks, so keep that in mind. But I would think with the issues like right here, there's this rise in the plastic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's sort of like a channel right here. I would venture a guess that that is where this is getting scratched because it's the only like non-flat surface inside the thing. And it's also in line with where most people have reported the scratching. You can line this with felt. You could put like a tape, just like a thin cloth material, book cover, whatever it may be. Construction paper might even work, saran wrap, I don't know. Play around with it if you want to, but I would think Nintendo will revise this. It'll be a very easy fix, and you can kind of take it from there. That said, we've kind of covered everything here. Let's go ahead in more detail. Take the glorious look at this $29.99 AC adapter. The thing I don't like about it, I love the logo, that's nice. It's just the bulk, the extra bulk. If you use a surge protector or an outlet, you plug this in the top, it's going to cover the bottom outlet, right? Same thing on a surge protector, so you almost have to put it at the in slot. And chances are you've already got some device that's got this sort of set up in an in device, so you might have to rework things. I can't remember if that's a USB Type-C. Anyway, that's fairly common, and it's a pretty decent connection, but that will go in the back of the dock or the Switch itself. We'll take a look at that in 1 second. HDMI cable. Again, you've probably at this point in your life cycle acquired quite a few of these. So if this is too short for what you need to do, chances are you can plug this in place of a longer one and make do. Or you can just, I mean, they're pretty dadgum cheap on Amazon. And in fact, they're usually a little better quality from there as well. So we've got that. Again, health and safety we don't care about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Switch itself. All right. So here it is in all its glory. And right there you've got your connection points. There's sort of plastic tabs inside the dock where this will seat, if you will, properly. Coming around to this side, this is where the left Joy-Con would slide in. Over here you've got where the right Joy-Con would slide in. On the back side we've got the Nintendo Switch logo. You can see the speakers. I tell you one thing that I was so excited about. When I hooked my nephews up, I'd said in my presentation notes, I'm going to be really disappointed if this thing doesn't make like the snap sound, the switch sound, every single time you do something with it. It actually does. And, it's probably going to get annoying, but I feel like it's pretty cool. So the round circular button, you can't really see it in detail, but that is your power button. There we go, kind of. Plus and minus on the volume right there. There's been some people that write reviews that there's like no volume on it. Try pressing the plus on this. That might be something worth noting. If you're like, oh hey, headphone jack, yes, headphone jack. But right here, if you're thinking, oh, the SD slot, awesome, yeah, I'm gonna go max out my storage, right? No, this is actually the game card slot. The SD, which this thing will probably need it if you're gonna do much gaming on it. I think they're 32 gig standard internal memory. This is the kickstand. It's fairly well thought out because if you put too much pressure on it, it'll just snap off, which is good. That way you don't break it and have to replace it. But right there, you can see the little micro SD card slot. So very cool stuff. Let me set that back in place. So that is the screen, the tablet, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and get these Joy-Cons freed from their plastic tombs. I gotta say, it's that looks really orange on the camera. It is in fact red. When they say neon to me is cool colors, right? I sort of think of like neon signage, This is more like early 1990s New Kids on the Block t-shirt neon. So the like sublime glow-in-the-dark shoelace era of the 90s, that's sort of where I feel like these came from. I don't know if there's like old school Nintendo engineers that were like really sad they didn't get to throw this out on the SNES in 91 or something. But this is like 1991-ish, neon blue and neon red, if you will. So not really the modern connection with neon, but yes, early 90s coloration. That's what you need to know about these. Pretty straightforward here. I was so worried about it because I was like, there's no way this is going to be comfortable. But with 1-2 switch, which again, that's sort of like a party game, if you will, it worked well. You only have one in your hand, you're usually playing against someone type of a thing, and it got the job done. But I do feel like this will turn out to be a very worthy investment with the Pro Controller. This thing here, I don't know, man. Let's go ahead. I've never done this at my net. All right, battery, or the SD card timed itself out. That's what this looks like. Yeah, I don't like it. It doesn't feel that good, but it's just, I don't know, maybe over time I'll get used to it, but I need it to be bigger. I don't know how to really explain it, but my thumbs aren't in the right spot, and that's because their position is dictated by, where this falls in my palm, and I need like a little bit more girth. Kids, small hands, this might be perfect. I don't think it will be a big deal. Somebody aftermarket, third-hand Power A, someone will come along and probably make a wider one. Let's go ahead. I went ahead and grabbed what I think is one of the most comfortable controllers. Significantly heavier, too. Holy crud. You would think this thing being two separate pieces with sort of a dock for them would be like, oh, the lug, right? No, not compared to this bad boy. So it's a very similar size, actually. I guess maybe it's the bulk back here that's missing. You can note that's sort of got much more material on the backside. It's not too different, but you can see the profile difference. Like this is your like super thin chick, and then this is the chick that eats pizza, type of a thing. This one just feels so much better in your hands. So I think this will actually work for a lot of people, but my hand size, and you might get used to it, but I feel like when I do, I would probably cramp. So that is not good. Right here, these little buttons, if you can kind of see the two here, that is actually what will detach from whatever it's currently docked to. First time ever doing that, I'd have to say it was pretty freaking fluid. So we can at least say that. This, again, it just doesn't feel super like, oh man, this is awesome. It's kind of like, oh hey, you know, this is what Walmart had type of a thing. So a couple of other things I wanted to do. Throughout the history of the Switch, people have made idiotic size comparisons with things that aren't relevant. And we're going to remedy their stupidity by comparing it with things that are relevant. So here we are with the Switch in hand. Let's go ahead. The gamepad. Oh, the Wii U. It had so much potential, and I feel like it was underutilized, even by Nintendo themselves. With the Joy-Con, roughly the same profile, right? Flipping this around, if we can. You can sort of compare and contrast the screens a little bit. And set this back down. I don't have a new 3DS. I don't have a 3DS XL, but I do have an original 3DS in the sweet aqua blue. You can see the size comparison here. Let's just go ahead and set that down. I'll have to clean that for the protector. I kind of wish I had a larger 3DS XL. I feel like it might be close in size. Wiimote with Motion Plus. Look at that. Do you sense a theme here? If you took that sleeve off, this would be roughly the exact same size. Pretty interesting, I have to say. And then my only piece of Apple hardware or electronica, whatever you want to call it, is the old Mini picked up primarily for Skylanders games that I can't play because of iOS updates. Thanks for that, Apple. Again, do not compute with fruit, children. But right there, again, sort of the same side-to-side profile, if you will. So hopefully those are somewhat helpful to you. But again, the biggest thing, if you do get the Switch, I think these are the lower rated screen protectors. But it's what they had. It's what we picked up. It works fine. I put it on my Nephew's. It's going to keep it from getting scuffed in the dock. $299.99 Target. You get the Switch, if you will, the dock, AC adapter, HDMI, whatever they call that cheap controller substitute. You get the two Joy-Cons, and that's about it. And it's all really well streamlined and a bit smaller than you would think it would be. But again, you can kind of see the tabs here. We line those up like so. We'll dock this one. You do want to be gentle with these because I have seen some people get these stuck. What I'm trying to do right now is not accidentally turn it on. But there we go. That is the Switch with the neon blue and the neon red Joy-Cons, if you couldn't tell. I'm going to get this thing charging. I'm also going to bust out the Pro Controller and get it charging so we can potentially start playing Breath of the Wild. The plan is to do a blind stream on Twitch and then export it to YouTube. I talked about that in one of my recent Skylander videos. Some of you that responded said, hey, I would like to see that. I will definitely be watching. So we might do it. We might jump into the Switch in that manner. But like I said, I would say we got very, very lucky. Again, I'm someone that took Nintendo at their word. They're going to have these in ample supply, sort of like, hey, you know, we've been through some rough times here, but the Switch is pretty awesome. There's a huge hype train, and it's readily available, kids. Not the case just yet. I think they are working on it. I think the UK got it back in stock yesterday, so hopefully it's on its way this direction. And it's not something I think is going to be gone for a long time. I think it's going to just be whatever intervals, time frames they need to keep cranking them out. But don't pay scalper prices. Wait on it. $299 is the most you need to pay right now. Again, personally, the plan was to wait until Mario Kart 8. See if there was a bundle at that point in time. If there wasn't a bundle, assuming the Switch was readily available, I was getting the Switch then with Mario Kart 8 and Breath of the Wild. That's what it is. Right now, a lot of people say this is a Breath of the Wild machine. That's all it does. There's some decent games on the Switch. It's not like they're not other places. 1-2 Switch, in my opinion, should have been included. Absolutely included. And if it wasn't, I think $19.99 or $29.99 is top dollar for that. That said, at $50, if you have fun, 5 people have fun for an hour, factor in $10. You can't go to the movies, can't get dinner, I can't really do anything for that price, so it's not bad, but at the same point in time, Breath of the Wild is $60. Maybe 1-2 Switch should have been priced a little bit lower. In my opinion, I wish it would have been included. I think it should have shown off the system sort of like Wii Sports did. Deluxe versions like I got with the Nintendo Wii U back in the day that had Nintendo Land, which did a fantastic job highlighting the gamepad. 1-2 Switch does a really good job of highlighting what you can do with the Joy-Cons. And for that reason, I think it should have been included. But it wasn't. Can't go back and change time. And again, by holding out, kids, not only do you potentially save money or get a better bundle, you get all those perks, possibly some hardware revisions, things along those lines that early adopters had to deal with and get remedied. You avoid all of that. You save money, you save hassle. It's, like I said, my deal, I did not pre-order. I planned to wait, see if we got the bundle there. I don't think I would have made it to Mario Odyssey. I would have wanted to play the proper battle mode Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U should have had, in my opinion. That will be in the deluxe version, but my nephew and I are both very excited about Mario Kart 8. That said, I hope you can land one if you're looking for it. Sorry for throwing my story in there, but I decided after I said we might do it that it would fit better here than just a standalone video. Plus, at this point in time, this thing has been unboxed a million times, particularly by people that got it ahead of its release, so this is sort of my archival footage, if you will. And kind of just an honest opinion. Again, I am a big Nintendo fan. I always have been, probably always will be. And just kind of giving you some decent size comparisons there. And initial impressions I encountered when I played with my nephews the other day. So that's it. I hope this helped you out. I hope you can land your Nintendo Switch. Again, there's absolutely zero shame in waiting. You will probably save money, get a way better deal, and potentially avoid some headaches that early adopters have. So and by the way, that is very unlike Nintendo. Their first-party games and their hardware generally performs flawlessly, at least initially. Sometimes dust does a number on electronics, but out of the box, brand new, it is very rare that you have issues. If it is, it's like a one-off deal. They're very quick to take care of things, but I don't know, maybe this was hurried along a little too much type of a thing, but it's got a lot of potential. I don't want to go into all of that and what my future predictions are type of a thing, but if people say, hey, all this is good for is Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 and Mario Odyssey, hey, that's what I care about. That's what I want this for. So will this get good third-party support? I certainly hope so. Stardew Valley is coming. A lot of you have wanted to do take advantage of the co-op play on that when they implement it. But hey, Nintendo's first-party titles, that is pretty much how they move hardware. Software sells hardware in that case, right? Breath of the Wild looks fantastic. I'm a decent Zelda fan. I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near the upper echelon by any stretch of the imagination. But it looks great. And again, Mario Kart 8, Breath of the Wild. I mean, those are two games that can get you through the end of the year for the vast majority of people. So Imaginators is available as well, so keep that in mind. Starter pack only $59.99. Kind of borrows the mechanics of the 3DS versions of yesteryear, where your whole roster is active for you. Not quite as fluid, but it is there, so keep that in mind. A couple other decent games, but again, if someone rags on you because it's the Breath of the Wild machine, they're exactly right. That's what it is, and it's awesome. So that's it. I hope this helps you out. Again, very, very excited to jump into Breath of the Wild. And probably get hate for this, but honestly, Mario Kart 8. Having been able to take that on the go. And then also the battle mode. Me and my nephew were kind of bummed out with what they did with the MK8 on the Wii U in terms of the battles. They fixed it, they made it better, and I think it's going to be a pretty good time. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Did you pick up a Switch? If so, where? Did you pre-order it? Were you one of those lucky freaks like me who was able to get one that was not pre-ordered and not acquired from a scalper? Is it something you plan to pick up, or are you going to wait until Christmas, wait until you get like a sweet bundle or some games you're packaged with it? In all honesty, that is your best course of action. That's just what I would fully recommend. But I'll quit rambling there. Comment with hashtag... let's go with birthday for this this one. So, because if it wasn't for my nephew's birthday, neither of us would have one of these. I can tell you that. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you can land your Switch. Hope you're having fun with it, not having many issues. And let's hope that we get not only third-party support, but some pretty freaking sweet Nintendo titles down the line. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you back here for more.